So, recently, we've been following the dispute over the H3 versus Idubbbz lawsuit, whether it's getting dropped, what was being demanded in exchange for it being dropped. Obviously, we understand that Ethan has lied in some respect, because he stated publicly he was telling his lawyers to drop the case immediately, yet appears to still be attempting to extract concessions, leading to further litigation. Now, Kilo Tonics has, as you can see, printed off and mailed me a copy of the court documents, as you can see. So we're going to be reviewing those. Let's take a look. So the first thing we've got here is the original notice to, assumedly, Idubbbz. Defendant Ian Jomha and Anissa Jomha. Okay, so both of them co-defendants. So then it has some, like, base background statements. We don't have to read through all these. It's, just saying it's Ethan Klein, he owns TED Inc. All this happens on YouTube and Twitch. This crossover with Reddit. Ethan Klein makes his money through TED Inc., advertising revenue, subscriptions, sponsorships, and other sources in connection with the videos, podcasts, or other content created online. Stephen Bonnell mentioned, Destiny mentioned, Epstein mentioned. So, on at least 5 separate occasions, they made defamatory statements, which claim that Ethan Klein is a pedophile who is engaged in criminal activity, including molesting his own children. The defamatory statements, directly and by innuendo, state that Mr. Klein is a pedophile, pedo, and engaged in illegal activity, including molestation of his children and illicit drug use. The persona Scorched Lagoon, that's the dragon, by the way, guys. His persona Scorched Lagoon, the VTuber dragon, stating, Destiny, quick daily reminder that Ethan from H3 is likely a pedophile who has molested his own children, which was republished to Reddit. On or about February 20th, 2026, Ian Jomha displayed an image that another content creator with the online persona Destiny said Mr. Klein was a pedophile in a video Ian Jomha posted online. In the same video, Mr. Jomha stated, "It is really odd and creepy that Ethan would harass loads of other people on the internet. He's a small little wimpy man." Wow, so defamatory, these statements. I know that Scorched Lagoon had some crazy pedo allegations on screen. I'm pretty sure he's just bringing that up to show how much of a pussy Ethan Klein is. Now he has heat and smoke for everyone else, but not for Destiny. In fact, he's got Destiny's cock rammed down his throat. So where's the defamation here? On or about March 3rd, 2026, Ian Jomha published a statement under the online persona Scorched Lagoon stating, "Of course no one is laughing, it's disgusting," referring to his prior statement that Mr. Klein is a pedophile. He said that it was not a joke. On or about, so did that happen? What clip is this referring to? We need the clip for that. On or about March 24th, 2026, Anissa Jomha published a statement suggesting Mr. Klein was on drugs in one of his online videos, stating, "Bro is on something here. His pupils look as big as his iris. He's cooked." The defamatory statements were published online via Twitch or Reddit, which are visible to all internet users, including those in blank. Defamatory statements continue to be republished online. Some of the republications occur in places and manners not yet known to the plaintiffs. So, yeah, just laying out that he doesn't use drugs, and they claim he does, and that's illegal. They're defamatory. They're either maliciously published by defendants, they knew they were untrue with careless disregard. So whether they were true, laying out their case for damages, kinda. So, on March 27, 2026, the plaintiff served the defendants with a cease and desist letter demanding that the defamatory statements be formally retracted and removed. The letter notified the defendants of the plaintiff's intent to legal action. On March 31st, 2026, defendants advised through counsel that they will take down the defamatory statements they published. As the date of the statement of the claim, as of the date of this statement of claim, the defamatory statements have been taken down from the defendant's Twitch and Reddit channels. The losses and damages listed at paragraph 22 above were caused prior to the defendant's removal of defamatory statements from the Twitch and Reddit channels. So, yeah, suing in Calgary, we get that. Remedy sought. Dude. An injunction enjoining the defendants from publishing defamatory statements about the plaintiffs on Twitch, Reddit, YouTube, or at all. General and special damages in the amount of $1 million or an amount to be proven at trial. Aggravated damages in the amount of $50,000 or an amount to be proven at trial. Punitive damages in the amount of $50,000 or an amount to be proven at trial. Interest pursuant to the Judgment Interest Act. Yeah, okay. So then we've got an affidavit from Ian Jomha Idubbbz. I'm one of the defendants in the within action, and as such, I have personal knowledge of the matters herein deposed to. The other defendant, Anissa Jomha, is my wife. His brand of content is deliberately mean-spirited and aggressive, involves mocking and humiliating other content creators, including my wife and I. He makes untrue, inflammatory comments about my wife and I, including calling us Nazi Semites, making crude comments about our sex life, and mocking our finance and mental health. Cycle of provocation and reaction generates views. Mr. Klein confirmed that he was the operating mind behind an account on the media site Reddit using the name PedoTroll. Using the PedoTroll pseudonym, Mr. Klein made posts that described acts of violence, sexualized behavior, and other disturbing interactions with children, including the PedoTroll character's own children. Mr. Klein's acknowledgement that he was the person behind the PedoTroll account was the catalyst for the internet commentary by another internet content creator using Destiny, which I then shared. While displaying Destiny's comment via an internet persona, I expressly stated that he did not believe Destiny's allegations against Mr. Klein were true. I made a public apology. Despite the apology, Mr. Klein and his company caused the statement of claim with an action to be issued on the 5th. Could anyone get me this apology, and can someone get me the dragon clips as well? And if can we try and look into if Kilo's around? Do we have whatever he said on March 3rd, 2026? Mr. Klein said it on June 12th, 2026. Mr. Klein said in a YouTube video that he only wanted a sincere apology from me, even though I'd already apologized. He stated, I said, and I still say, if Ian would issue a genuine apology, I'd probably think about dropping the lawsuit. I don't think he's ever genuinely apologized or reckoned with the fact that what he did was so extraordinarily fucked up. If he did that, I would probably drop the lawsuit. On June 15th, I made a further apology to Klein. I've transcribed what I said in the video in full as follows. So we remember the apology, Rail. I mean, we can pull it up quick.
Hello, everyone. I am going to be talking about a very important and heavy topic for me. If you're unfamiliar with the context of any of this, I'll give you a brief rundown, but that is not the main purpose of this video. I do think it's important to share a little bit of my side of the story, but I don't want to take away from the purpose of this video, and that is to apologize to Ethan Klein and his family, especially his kids. Basically, Ethan is suing me for having rebroadcasted a statement made by Destiny on my stream. I did display the very disgusting comment for 40 minutes, and it was wrong. It was a comment from Destiny, and I even said that I don't agree with it, but it sort of highlights how I knew that it was a wrong thing to put out there into the universe and show people. You know, regardless of the point I was making, it was wrong. I was angry, and I was like, how do I get this guy to, one, not clip me, not mock me and harass me on his live stream, and two, this guy's a fucking bully. I'm angry. I'm angry that this multimillionaire is silencing people and suing people who have a much smaller audience than he does, and you know, can barely defend themselves. And so I'm angry. I don't like bullies. So I wanted to do something that would have an impact, and you know, without checking in with myself of whether or not that was a right or wrong thing to do. I justified it in my head at the time. I was like, okay, well, it's not my words, and it's actually said by a really bad guy, Destiny. Not a fan of that guy. It's very clear that it was never the right thing to do. It was a comment about Ethan and his children, and it was disgusting. I said at the time in the stream that I don't agree.
So I think most people agree this is like a pretty sincere apology. Apparently this is supposed to be the VOD where I think this is supposed to be the VOD where apparently he says it's not a joke. So let's see what he says.
Laughing. How funny and cool. And by the way,
of course no one's laughing. It's disgusting. You idiot. Why would you think this is presented as a joke, you idiot? What a fool. What an absolute fool. He thinks that everything is made with the intention of jokes and comedy. Sorry, Mr. Pedo Troll. Things aren't expressly made with the purpose of making people laugh. You should know that. But I think your brain is on the fritz. It's on the fritz because that is the best defense that you have.
Yeah, this is like totally misrepresented. Thank you for the membership. He was being sarcastic. It's like so retarded. Thank you for the membership, Kai. Thank you. So Ethan totally misrepresented that in this filing. Oh, sorry, his lawyers did. His lawyers I have no idea why his lawyers put that in here. So yeah, he states that he's going to drop it. After the second apology, through legal counsel, Mr. Klein confirmed that he would drop the lawsuit. As we negotiate the terms of settlement, Mr. Klein requested, and I agreed, to make a further public statement where I would show my disapproval of the kind of unhealthy, toxic internet discourse that led to this lawsuit. While I agreed to make a statement, it was crucial to me that the statement be authentic from my heart and in my own words, just as my apologies had been. I was not going to read a statement prepared by lawyers. I understood that Mr. Klein, as a fellow content creator, understood and did not require an agreed script in advance. Since we were not creating a script for the statement, I left it out of formal settlement agreement and considered it a separate agreement reached by email between our lawyers. Attached as Exhibit X to this affidavit is the email correspondence between my legal counsel and Mr. Klein's email counsel containing our agreement around the statement. On July 2nd, 2026, I made an additional statement in a Twitch.tv stream as a part of a larger stream. I've transcribed the relevant portion of the stream as follows. So yeah, this is the additional statement that Ian was required to make after the second apology. So remember, guys, Ian gets a cease and desist. He apologizes. Moist Critical makes a video. Ethan says, oh, well, if he apologized, I would drop it. Ian apologizes a second time. Ethan says he's dropping it. They go into settlement talks. Ethan wants a further statement, a third apology. That's his third apology.
Help me figure it out. But yeah, it was a fun video. It kind of reminded me, like, I just need to start making content, you know, and just fucking, especially after spending so much time streaming and kind of getting roped into the whole harassment cycle of like firing back at, I mean, there was a lot of the slop tubers I didn't really fire back at. It's like, I think I felt, you know, not compelled enough to do it, but for like the H3 podcast, I was definitely getting sucked into the cycle, the sort of the bad parts of like online, the ugly parts of like online discourse. You know, and I really don't want to be a part of that. And it felt bad that I felt bad that I was, you know, engaging in that. And you stoop to their level. That's one way of putting it. There's a lot of, it's easy to get roped into it, you know, and I don't want to be that person. For me, I think, you know, there are like other people. I think it's worth acknowledging that there's been commentary around Noah Sampson, Frogan, all these people who are also dealing with lawsuits, and they're all in very different situations. And I want them to, I certainly don't want people to, you know, see my apology and see any of this as like a reflection of what like how other people need to behave, because this is like, this is my world, and like this is what I wanted to do for myself.
I hate this guy so much. I'm always reminded how much I hate this guy. I was going to leave it when it was just the first statement, but two things have now annoyed me here. First of all, I hate the fact that, oh man, I got dragged into the harassment, you know, firing back and forth. That makes the world go round online. I'm sorry, it just does. Like, stop being such a fucking pussy, grow a spine, talk your shit, stop being a fucking loser. It's so annoying. And then this, saying, oh, I don't want it to be a reflection of how other people should act. Well, too bad it is. You said bullying works. That's what you said. That's what you said by fucking buckling on this, because you're a loser.
Like, I very much want to get back into making content that, you know, is more reflective of who I want to be and, like, you know, what drives me, what motivates me. And I think getting lost in, you know, just the online back and forth, getting, you know, involved in these communities, because it's such a slippery slope, especially for me. Like, I don't know how other, like, it's hard, right? Because you get so emotionally invested in things. And it's like, you just want to be heard, and you just want there to be like resolution. That's what I want a lot of the time. And in the pursuit for the resolution, you can, you know, say and do some ugly stuff. You can be involved in things that are just very ugly. And I want to distance myself from that sort of stuff. You know, anything that involves, you know, people's personal lives. Because I've been Anise and I have both been a big target of it, whether it be like Kiwi Farms or anything else. Like, there's been a lot of stuff that has not, I have not liked, you know. It's very personal, really gross. And, you know, it's hard to not fucking, you know, want to react back in a lot of those instances, but I think it's important to not, and get back into my own lane, for lack of a better word. So I think I'm going to try harder to, you know, just fucking make good content and not get pulled down into the drama slop, you know, because I still think it's important to, you know, defend the defenseless and, you know, stick up for people, and fair, good criticism is important. And, you know, I do think holding people accountable is important, but I don't want to get sloppy with it, you know. We're not doing Schmungus discourse. Yeah, today we're going to put a pause on Schmungus.
So there we go. I think that's the full statement there. After making the statement, Anissa and I received a copy of the settlement agreement signed by Mr. Klein, attached Exhibit B to this affidavit. Attached as Exhibit B to this affidavit is a copy of the signed settlement agreement. Our legal counsel and Mr. Joma's legal counsel signed a consent dismissal order as contemplated by the settlement agreement. Attached as Exhibit C is a signed copy of the order. However, through legal counsel, I've learned that Mr. Klein does not think my statement of July 2nd was sufficient to meet the agreement, and his lawyer has not proceeded with seeking entry of the court's consent dismissal order. I believe that my statement conveys what was intended by the agreement, and that I did not agree to use any particular exact words or phrases. Mr. Klein and his company are now in breach of the settlement for having not sought the granting and filing of the consent dismissal order. So yeah, it's so they're filing to have the settlement enforced, basically. Ian and Anissa are filing to have the settlement enforced, to say, Judge, tell them my apology was enough, my statement was enough, they need to fuck off. So as far as I understand, the settlement, the statement required for the settlement was planned over emails. So that's likely what these emails are here. Further to my email below, my client approved Ian making the statement as described in your below email. To ensure we're on the same page, I wrote the following to Mr. Klein. Consistent with your instructions that Ian Joma must denounce the snark community or express regret for participating in it, but the wording and format are at his discretion. Ian has agreed to make a statement on his Thursday, July 2nd live stream along the lines of participating in snark communities for bad faith or to harass or by picking on people's families is bad, and state it in a manner that is clear that he is including himself. So, I mean, he did say that. He didn't say snark communities, right? That does seem to be part of the issue here. He didn't say snark communities. He didn't lay out like these exact things. He was just like, yeah, I got dragged into the shit flinging of the internet. I took things too far. I got sloppy. I never want to be part of that. That's what he said. That seems fine. Please confirm agreement. Assuming you agree, we should finalize and execute the settlement agreement before Thursday. Mr. Klein responded, excellent, thank you, and approved. Settlement agreement here. So yeah, drop the lawsuit. Apology video kept, posted. Non-disparagement clause. Obviously, we already went over that in the A-Such thing, but there was a mutual non-disparagement clause. It doesn't seem to be an issue. It doesn't seem like it's like forced or coerced. I think Ian and Anissa just want them to stop talking about them. Obviously, Ethan has said some totally crazy shit about Anissa specifically, accusing her of dating children, all this sort of shit. So I don't hugely blame Ian and Anissa, even if I think this stuff is lame for the purposes of public discourse. Yeah, the wording and stuff is all at discretion. The only thing that was specifically stipulated was make it clear that you're including yourself, you know, that you're part of the problem. That was the only thing that was like super specified, and he absolutely did that. So where's the clause asking for the further statement? Or it was just, it was left out entirely? Wait, let me reread some of that. So was this left out of the... Am I understanding correctly that there's not actually a clause or a term in the settlement agreement that stipulates this further statement, but it was discussed prior to the signing of the agreement in emails? Ethan Klein signed the agreement and then decided it wasn't enough. Let me reread this. One moment. Yeah, wait. Dude, okay. So check this out. Okay. It all makes sense. Is this being picked up on? Are people like talking about this? So, since we were not creating a script for the statement, so remember, it's about the third statement. The contention is, the statement in contention is the third statement, the third apology, the third statement. So, since we were not creating a script for the statement, the third statement, we left out the formal settlement agreement, considered it a separate agreement reached by email between our lawyers. Attached as Exhibit X to this is my affidavit, is the email attached as Exhibit X to this, my affidavit, is the email correspondence, I felt I should be commas there, but is the email correspondence between my legal counsel and Mr. Klein's email counsel, I see, containing our agreement around the statement. On July 2nd, 2026, I made the additional statement in a stream on Twitch TV as part of a larger stream. After making the statement, Anissa and I received a copy of the settlement agreement signed by Mr. Klein. So they don't make this a formal agreement. They do it informally over email. The statement is made, and then, assumedly signaling that Ethan Klein's lawyers are happy, Ethan Klein's happy, Ian and Anissa received back a signed copy of the settlement agreement with no further terms for a statement included. So Ethan lies twice, guys. Ethan lies twice. Not only did he want a further statement past the second apology, which he ordered them to drop, he also then, when this is breaking publicly, goes to his Instagram story and says, this is over something they already signed. They already agreed to do this. It's for the good of everyone. That's a fucking lie. They didn't sign anything agreeing to do what's in contention here. They informally agreed, and after they had done it, Ethan sent them his signed agreement. He agreed to drop it after they'd done it. So this is just a total, you know, all this fucking retard, Leroy something, fucking Gorilla Grodd on Twitter. Literally all those stupid fucking tweets, totally wrong. All the Dorios coverage, totally wrong. I mean, no shit, yeah, but still, worth pointing out. Dude, Indonesia just don't understand the legal process. They just don't understand it. They're just retarded. So then there's the settlement agreement, and that's it. So that's crazy. So yeah, Ethan lies twice. He lies saying, look, the apology's enough and he's going to drop the lawsuit. No, he insists on further statements past that. And then when this breaks, he lies and says they've already signed and agreed to it. No, they haven't. They agreed to it over emails, and you accepted the apology. You accepted that third statement, because right after that, you sent back a signed copy of the settlement agreement, agreeing to drop the lawsuit without any further statement stipulated. So yeah, that's kind of wild. Not shocking compared to